What is up, guys, and welcome to the Day 10 recap of the 2016-2017 NBA season. Let's address the elephant in the room here. This was probably the most awkward game I have ever watched. It kind of felt like I was watching, like, you know, an old, bitter, divorced, broken up couple or something fighting. And then one of them was like showing off their new spouse to the other one, talking about how happy they were now. That's basically exactly what it was. Look, if you're an OKC fan, then I'm sorry. Yo, I'm truly sorry. I know that game was painful to watch. I understand completely how you feel, but look on the bright side here. Look on the bright side. You guys are still 4-1, tied for the best record in the Western Conference. That being said, Jeremy Grant, why were you the one trash talking Kevin Durant? You weren't even a part of the team last year. Matter of fact, you were just traded for a week ago. Freaking Kyle Singler had more of a right to be upset than you. Now let's move on to some facts here. Kevin Durant had a great game. He was playing like he was trying to prove something, which I'm not quite sure what he was trying to prove. Maybe he was trying to prove that he was right for going to Golden State, which still doesn't make much sense. Trying to prove that you're right. I don't know what he was trying to prove. I get why he was mad at Jeremy Grant after that dunk. I get why he was mad at Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant said something to him. Kevin Durant said something back. That's basketball. I like to see that. It looked like Kevin Durant was on a mission. It looked like the Golden State Warriors were trying to help him on that mission. The game plan seemed to be get the ball to Kevin Durant at all costs. And it paid off. It paid off. He was on fire. He was setting flames. It was just a game, and I'm actually kind of nervous for February when Kevin Durant goes to Oklahoma. Speaking of breakups, however, I think it's about time for another one. Sacramento Kings, you had one job. You had one job to put a solid team around one of the best big men in the league, and you still have not fulfilled that job. The Sacramento Kings went out and lost to the freaking Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic, except for yesterday, had only beaten the Philadelphia 76ers, and they barely beat the Philadelphia 76ers. And the Sacramento Kings lost to them. DeMarcus Cousins had 33 points, but what is going on, Sacramento? Look, it's over. You're already going to be forced to trade DeMarcus Cousins. I'm sorry if you're a Sacramento fan, but you guys have to know it's true. This organization just needs to hit the reset button. Just completely reset everything. You tried again this year, bringing in Matt Barnes, Ty Lawson, you know, Aaron Aflalo, and it's still not quite working out. Maybe they'll get it together at some point. Who knows? It's still early in the season, so maybe they'll get it together. But right now it's looking like this is about to be another breakup. You're gonna have to trade DeMarcus Cousins. He's gonna be a free agent after next year, and unless you just want to lose him for absolutely nothing, then you're basically gonna be forced to trade him, and you're kind of in an awkward position now. Everyone's attention has been everywhere but Cleveland so far this year. The only undefeated team left in the league, and they're looking really good. Boston came out and played a great game, especially in the fourth quarter. They were down pretty big, and they managed to put together a bit of a rally in the fourth quarter to make the game close, to make the game interesting. Avery Bradley has been having a terrific season. He's averaging over 20 points and 8 rebounds for the year. Avery Bradley, an undersized shooting guard, averaging over 8 rebounds per year. And it's not like you could see this coming, because up until this year, he's been maybe averaging, you know, like 2, maybe 3 rebounds per game, and he has definitely been stepping it up this year, yo. That's what the Celtics needed. They needed someone to step up next to Isaiah Thomas, and Avery Bradley has been doing that so far this year. Something else you like to see if you're a Celtics fan was Jaylen Brown, yo. Jaylen Brown had a really good game filling in for Al Horford. He had 19 points and played some really solid defense, so you know that's a bright spot if you're the Celtics. Jaylen Brown had a really good game for you, and he's probably going to earn himself some more minutes after that performance. On to the Cavs though. The Cavs offense this year looks really nice. You know, people used to say they play like a lot of ISO ball and stuff like that. Well, not anymore. They share the ball, and they do it beautifully this year. A lot of great passing, especially from LeBron James. LeBron's passing this year has been on freaking point. If you've ever watched the Cavs play this year, watching LeBron pass out of the post has been a thing of freaking beauty. Kyrie Irving's continuing to do his thing, continuing to set flames on the court, and then Kevin Love is having his best season as a Cav. His shot's not falling that great, but at the same time, he's still having a much better season than he's had so far, which is great. Karl-Anthony Towns looked like Karl-Anthony Towns again, yo. He had a great night, 32 points and 14 rebounds. He had a bit of a slow start to the season, which has been kind of common with a bunch of second-year players so far after these slow starts. The Wolves did lose the game, but you can expect that. They're still a young team. They still have to learn how to close games out, so you know, you can expect that from the Timberwolves. But what you like to see is Andrew Wiggins is having a very under-the-radar season. Andrew Wiggins has been fired so far from the field this season. You know, he's averaging 24 points per game, but he's shooting over 50% from the field, so he's averaging a really efficient 24 points per game. The last person I want to talk about is Chris Dunn. Yo, he had an off night shooting. He had a bad night shooting. He was 1 for 6. But what you like to see is someone who can still impact the game even when their shot's not falling, and that's exactly what Chris Dunn did. Chris Dunn did. I don't know why that sounds so. Anyways, he had 9 assists, 5 rebounds, and after a 5-steal game against the Memphis Grizzlies, he had another 3 steals. So, you know, his defense is there, his passing is there, his rebounding is there, his offense is there most of the games. He hasn't had like a great offensive game as far as scoring the ball so far this season. The Pacers are still learning each other. You know, they're still trying to find their identity. They're basically a brand new team, so it's gonna take some time. I'd give them at least a solid third of the season before we start to make any judgments about the Indiana Pacers. Yo, they lost to the Milwaukee Bucks, but in their defense, Antetokounmpo has still been beasting it up, and Jabari Parker had a really good game. Antetokounmpo, so far from this season, has been a freaking monster, filling the stat sheets on both offense and defense, averaging over 24 points per game, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal. And he still hasn't even reached his full potential yet. Once Antetokounmpo gets an outside shot, it's a wrap. Yo, I don't care who you are, what kind of defense you are throwing at him, once the man gets an outside shot, or at least some type of consistent jumper, it's a wrap. Speaking of jumpers, it was nice to see Parker go out and hit some. He was 4 for 6 for 3 last night. He had 27 points as well, but 4 for 6 from 3, which is great. If Parker can develop a consistent outside shot along with Antetokounmpo, that duo will be scary. And then you're gonna have Chris Middleton being an afterthought for your defense, hitting outside shots all night long, outside wide open shots all night long, because defense will be so focused on Parker and Antetokounmpo. So that could be very nice once they get these shots falling. But that about wraps it up for day 10 of the 2016-2017 NBA season. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to smash that like button. Only 5 games last night. We got, I think, like 9 going down tonight, and you guys already know where you're gonna find the recap for all of those right here. So subscribe if you haven't and you want to see more recaps. I'm going to do this every single day till tomorrow. Kick in the Buckets, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace.